2020 brought with it a crazy election, a virus that had the governments of the world shudder their citizens and take up new social norms.
Satan?
Hi. 2020?
Please. Call me 2020.
The stock market crashed. Woke liberal progressives proffered a new moral rule based upon race with Black Lives Matter, protest riots, and big company backing adding fuel to the fire. Police officers have never been under more threat following the outcome of George Floyd. Murder hornets, Portland, Capitol Hill, and various other left-wing autonomous zones
Called Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
sought to police themselves after taking the police precincts and enforcing their own racist laws, which restricted and gave freedoms based upon the color of one's skin. West Coast forest fires, inflation sought to devalue American currency, the likes of which we've never seen. Have you noticed some shelves sitting empty at your local grocery store? The cost of food rising in every category and not every item available at your favorite fast food chain? Due to emergency powers, government officials enacted a new way of voting that didn't have the normal safeguards that have been set up for decades. The biggest threat to our country since the Civil War occurred on January 6th when the Capitol was taken by Buffalo Man and a host of QAnon conspiracy theorists. I'm being facetious. Marxism, communism, socialism, democratic socialism has taken root in our society. It's being crammed down our children's throats in school and carefully articulated in our prestigious universities. Boys are now girls and allowed to share a locker room with our daughters. Afghanistan has been handed over to the Taliban, a radical Islamic group the likes of which caused 9/11. And our tax dollars have supplied these terrorists with United States military weaponry, unavailable to United States citizens. Our government has given the Taliban weaponry that is illegal for you or I to own. People who chant death to America have just been welcomed to the 21st century due to the inept leadership of our nation. Do you realize they went from suicide bombers to controlling drones from remote controls? They now have thousands of weapons, ammo, vehicles, aircraft, tanks, etc., to subjugate any who oppose them. I've had 3 professors who were experts in Islam during my formal education. Each one suspected that in their students' lifetimes, we would begin to see Christian blood being spilled on U.S. soil at the hands of Muslims. Vaccine mandates are being required by the federal government for people to earn a wage for something they were doing before a vaccine was even created. We are losing our freedom. It's time to save America.
You can do it! When it comes to changing a party, to quote one of your characters, you can do it. You can do it!
The way forward is a constitutional reformation. Reformation means to get back to the roots, to eliminate the corruption and reestablish the pure forms. Unfortunately, the American experiment must be repeated in every age, that we need a renaissance of political reasoning. Know the framers, their sacrifices, contributions, and what it was they set out to accomplish. Know the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and Bill of Rights. Grow in the history of the presidents, the decisions of Congress, and legal ramifications of the Supreme Court. Call our Congress statement to fulfill their oaths.
The members-elect will rise. The chair will now administer the oath of the office. All members-elect will raise their right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I summon you to fulfill your oath. None but the King of Gondor may command me. That line was broken. It has been remade.
We must restore limits and balance to the government. Big businesses like Google, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Microsoft, Apple, etc., as well as media companies and news corporations, have come in on the side of the politically dominant class, the elites, and have joined, even benefited from their politically aligned relationships. This must be adjusted. No more administrative state full of experts who dictate our freedoms. That is not freedom. This must be adjusted. We must work to influence the laws and policies of our nation for good. Together, with God's help, we will resolve the problems that we now face. We must regain a God-ordained identity that is wrapped up in the founding of our nation. Help isn't coming. It is up to us and our gracious God. In America, we are the government. You and I and everyone you meet who enjoys the freedoms of this great country.
She said, Dr. Franklin, what have you done? What kind of government do we have? Is it a republic or a monarchy? And I said, my dear woman, it's a republic, if you can keep it.
Rule by consent of the governed, of the people, for the people, by the people. We do so without bloodshed or force, but through debate, argument, education, the truth. You see, the truth has a way of contending for itself. Present the information, the tipping points, the rights and responsibilities as a U.S. citizen. America can be great again. Terrible things are occurring in our nation as well as the world. Don't lose hope.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, a decent respect requires that they declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal.
That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men,
deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers to such forms as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and guards for their future security. Thanks for watching this 5-part series, How We Got Here Politically. I hope it lit a fire for you to run for office, join that school board, become the mayor, to serve the people in the justice system. We must not withdraw from the culture, but remake it. We can no longer hide from politics, we must reform them. Wherever the Lord leads you, I pray for your protection, your courage, and your trust in Him to see this once great nation rise from the ashes. Would you help to repeat the American experiment one more time for the sake of the world? If America fails, there's nowhere to go. This is our last stand, to stand up against enemies foreign and domestic. Be on the lookout for our next series where we learn the tipping points of how we got here, the education system. See you there.